Hi everyone, it's Jennifer from Fiberflux. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a yarn swatch greeting card. This is a really fun, crafty project. We normally do knitting and crochet techniques, but today I wanted to get a little bit crafty, and this is a really great way to use up all of these swatches that you may have when you're making a project. A lot of times when you go to knit or crochet, you'll make a little swatch just to see what the stitches look like, how the yarn behaves. You may wash it to see how it washes up before you commit to the project. But once you make your project, you have all these little swatches left over. So this is a really fun way to use up those swatches, and it creates a gorgeous handmade gift for someone that you can give for any occasion. And all you'll need is a swatch. You'll need a blank greeting card. I have some colorful ones here, but I've also seen some made with natural paper that are very pretty also. And you can get some that are blank or that say something, and they come with envelopes. They are usually sold in a multi-pack at a craft store or even in the stationery aisle of a department store. You'll also need a pair of scissors, and I'm going to be using a hot glue gun to attach the swatch onto our card. So all I did was I glued it and then folded the ends. If you have a smaller swatch, you can kind of center it on your card. If you have a glue that you prefer to use instead of hot glue, I know some people don't like, getting hot glue on their hands and things like that. But if you have a glue that you prefer to use, go ahead, feel free to do that as long as it will hold on that card. So let's get started. So to begin, what we're going to do is we're going to take one of our note cards. We can put the other ones aside. Now I turned my glue gun on, and it's been warming up while I get my stuff together here. So I think I'm going to do this really pretty kind of berry looking one on here. Now I have the ends and everything on here. We'll deal with those in a minute. But what you're going to do is just open the card. Now if your swatch is very small, you can just kind of glue it to the center. I'm going to wrap mine around like a band. So what I'm going to do is kind of eyeball where I want to put my glue. I'm going to center mine and just make it like a band. So I'm going to leave it in place and just lift up like that. So it's going to hit it right about there. Then I'm just going to put a nice stripe of glue across my card. Now if you want to use other glue, feel free to do that. I just really like the hot glue because it yarn and fabric and things stick to it really well, and it dries fairly quickly, but you can still reposition it. So I'm just kind of like tapping it into place. You don't want it to ooze through, so just be careful not to burn yourself as well. Okay, so we have it secured to the bottom. Now I'm going to flip down the top. Now our top has a little bit of a scallop, and you can kind of accommodate whatever swatch that you'll be using. And then I'm just going to put another stripe of glue across the top here. This is a really fast and pretty way to make some really special cards. Okay, so we're just going to do the same thing. And if it's not gluing in every little spot, that's fine. See how I still have a little bit of roll down? We can kind of flip that around. Just be careful. I had a little bit of ooze through right there. Just be careful not to burn your hand. And then I'm just going to put a little extra at the top of these scallops just so I can get them to unroll a little bit. This is also a really fun way to use up if you have some Christmas or Valentine or holiday. You can make holiday cards this way too. So I'm just kind of like unrolling that and getting it into place with the glue. So this glue is going to set up pretty quickly. So I'm just going to kind of like keep doing this until the glue sets up a little bit and gets into all those fibers. Okay, so we have the front of our card, and it looks really pretty, really special, very pretty. This otherwise would just be hanging out maybe in a bin somewhere and not even get used or anything. It's too pretty to not use. So what we're going to do is we need to kind of fold our ends in. So I'm just going to do another stripe of glue, and I'm just going to fold that right in, and you can kind of carefully, very carefully hold that in place. Now I wanted to also mention that if you are mailing this, you may need to, because it's a little bit thick and bulky, you may need to put extra postage on your envelope. If you're hand delivering, just, you won't have to worry about that, but getting it into the envelope might be a little tricky, but you should be okay. I think it might be flat enough. If not, just hand deliver without an envelope. Okay, so what you're gonna do is just keep folding that swatch inward. Just like that. Now mine came up a little short, and that's okay. This glue will dry. You can probably just peel it off. If not, it'll be the inside of the card. You can even put a little button over it or something if you need to. Okay, so I'm just gluing that right on. Kind of like pushing it into the glue a little bit just to get it all set up. Okay, so now at this point, now we can look at the front. It looks very pretty, very, very pretty. So let's flip it back over. We're gonna let everything totally dry, and then we'll rejoin in just a moment. So I let everything totally dry for a few minutes and get nice and set up and cooled off. And a little hot glue tip, you can pull these strings off, or you can wave a hot hairdryer over them and it'll make them disappear. Now if you have little strings like I do, just trim them back. This isn't a garment, so we don't have to worry about it because we glued everything down. It's gonna hold everything. If you really want to, you can weave them in as well. So let's flip this over, and our card is complete. And I'm gonna just zoom out a little bit so you can see. And it looks really cool. It's a very, if you have any glue, just pull that off. It's a very unique, interesting, beautiful handmade gift, and or that can accompany a gift. And so that is how you make a yarn swatch greeting card. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure and click the subscribe button to get all the latest Fiber Flux video updates. Thanks again.